All right, so there's been a lot of horror movies coming out in the past couple years. Some of them a lot have been very overhyped, even though I enjoyed some of them. Like for example, Weapons. I love Weapons. I thought Weapons was great, but I wouldn't say it was like super scary. Long Legs is definitely overhyped, even though I enjoyed that film. It wasn't the scariest thing ever. And now we have another movie that a lot of people are saying is one of the scariest films ever. It's gonna make you crap your pants. And that movie is Obsession. And I'm here to tell you that Obsession was actually really, really scary. I am shocked that this movie actually scared me. And I'm not joking. Like, this movie actually did terrify me. And there's a lot of reasons why I find this movie scary and why I think this movie is fantastic. Like, I actually think this movie is a masterpiece. I think this movie lived up to the marketing that it had, and a lot of people who said this movie was fantastic, they were right. Now, I'm not gonna go too in depth because I actually want this to be kind of like a very spoiler free review and very vague because I want you to experience this film on your own and just discover why this film is just really, really good. I'm just gonna give you kind of like some cliff notes on why I really enjoy it and why I genuinely thought it was scary. But the first thing that I just want to give praise is just the atmosphere. I think the atmosphere of this film is very tense, very dreadful, and I like how everything is shot. It's genuinely creepy, and I think the performances are all great. Let me start off with Indy Navarrete. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name, but she is genuinely scary in this film. She does a lot of things that will make you feel very uncomfortable. It'll make you feel very tense, and she gives a great performance, but you also got to feel a lot of sympathy for her because she's under a spell that's not her choice, and we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll get to the guy who cast that spell, but I just think she did a wonderful job in this movie, and she is genuinely scary in this film. And like I said, she made her performance made me feel very uncomfortable and tense throughout the entire film. Like, I was scared of what she was going to do next, and she starts off not so scary, but as the movie progresses, she becomes even more and more terrifying, in my opinion. And again, she just did a wonderful job while also still feeling a lot of sympathy for her, which we'll get to the guy right now who cast this film. So Bear, he's the main character. He's the guy we followed throughout the whole film, mostly throughout the film. And I gotta be honest with you, I didn't like him, but I think that was intentional. Bear is a character that you're just not supposed to like. He makes a lot of terrible decisions. Obviously, casting a spell on someone is one of them. Like, if you have a crush on someone, just ask him out. Like, don't do all that. That's just stupid. But that's not the only reason why I just didn't like him. And again, this is no knock on the actor. The actor did his job. He did a great performance. And I also will say that Bear does have, from the looks of it, some mental issues, but that's not an excuse for a lot of things he does. And he just makes a lot of horrible decisions. Like, there's a part in the film which I won't get too deep where he has a choice to free Nikki from this hell she's living in, and he chooses not to. And God, that really, really frustrated me. He is so selfish that he just can't do this one thing, especially when this person, the person under the spell, is begging him to do it. Again, I'm not gonna go too deep than that, but there is a scene in the movie that something like that happens, and it's just really frustrating. But like I said, Bear is just someone you're supposed to hate. You're not supposed to like him. So yeah, I really didn't like him at all. I thought he was a jerk, in my opinion. But so are some of his friends. Like, there's this other friend that he has. Again, good performance, but he's also not the greatest person. I didn't like him either. I won't go too in depth. And there's this other friend who is really nice towards him. And again, I'm not gonna go too in depth, but I think the movie makes it very obvious that she has a thing for him, and it's just so frustrating that he has this one person that does like him, and he chooses not to pursue that relationship instead pursuing this infatuation he has with Nikki, and it's just, again, it's really infuriating. But that, I feel like that was intentional. Anyway, that's enough for Bear. Like, I can go on why I don't like this character and why he just makes horrible decision after horrible decision. But I feel like for me to do that, I would have to go into spoilers. Just know that I don't like Bear, even though the actor gave a good performance. I think he was great, and I want to say that it was intentional. I just could not stand him. I really couldn't stand him. He was one of the worst protagonists, not in a bad way, because again, you're supposed to hate him. It's just, it was really frustrating to watch him in this movie. But again, I feel like that was intentional. But other things I love is the story. I love how the story plays out. Like it starts off slow, like everything seems fine, but as the movie progresses, it gets scarier and scarier, and it amps up. And the way this movie does its scares, I like it. The way it sets it up. It gives you kind of like a false sense of security, like nothing's gonna happen, and then when you feel comfortable enough, like nothing will happen, something happens, and it's extremely disturbing. That's just another thing I gotta give this movie props is that it genuinely made me feel unnerved and scared watching this, which hasn't happened in a long time. I'm gonna be honest with you, like it's been a while since I watched a movie that genuinely scared me. Like I was actually shaking a little bit when I got out of the theater watching this because I just wasn't expecting this to be that scary. And granted, the story is like it is original for the most part. That but the whole making a wish that something goes wrong, that is something you've seen before. But the way this movie goes at it, it's just really really good, and that's what makes it different and original. And I love it, and I like that this movie doesn't throw the answers at you. You kind of have to like take a guess on how all of this works and just make assumptions or theorize. Like I like how they don't tell you how the wish really works that much or where these sticks came from. There's a business line on the box, and there's this one scene which I won't go too in depth, but it was a really creepy scene, and I like that they don't really tell you how this incantation works or how it can how where it came from. Like they keep it very vague and mysterious, and I love that. I love it when movies do that. I like that this movie doesn't spoon feed you the answers. You just kind of have to take a guess and just find out how this works. It's just really good. Like this movie's fantastic. Like generally, I really don't have a lot of complaints about this film. It's just probably why I'm not gonna make this video too long because I genuinely don't have a lot of complaints. I think this movie was perfect in my opinion, and I know that's saying a lot, but because there's just not a lot of perfect films out there. But this is one of those films where I genuinely think was perfect. It was a perfect horror film. It's one of the best horror films I've ever seen, and it was just really, really good. I think the marketing for this film really did live up to my hype personally, and it just blew me away. I watched this with a sibling of mine. We were both pretty scared of it, me more so than her, but we both loved this movie. We both walked out of it thinking, yeah, this movie, it was amazing. But yeah, I can't say more than that because I really want to keep this review as spoiler free as possible and vague. And that's why I'm just kind of throwing like some little small compliments because if I really want to get into more on why I really love this film, I feel like I would have to get into spoilers. So all I can really say is that I think Obsession was a fantastic movie. It lived up to the hype, and I think you should all watch it, especially in theaters. Like, please don't miss out on this movie. Please don't. It is very much well worth your watch, and I think it's probably going to be my favorite horror movie of the year, if not my favorite movie of the year. We're gonna have to see how the Backrooms does, but I feel like it's gonna be hard to top this movie. It really is because it's genuinely that good, and it gets a 10 out of 10 for me. And I strongly recommend you go and watch this in theaters because it is awesome. It's a great movie, and like I said, it's one of the only movies that genuinely scared me. So much so that I don't know if I'll be able to watch it again because I was actually pretty creeped out by this film, and it's been a while since a movie has done that for me. Like I said, I was legit shaking my hands a little bit when I got out of the theater. And I know it sounds like I'm over exaggerating. I'm not. I legit that did happen, and I was in my seat a lot, just crawling in the back, just whenever something horrible was gonna happen. And I guess that's another thing too. I gotta say, I like how this movie kind of pans. Like I said, I like how it pans out. It scares. The violence in this movie is not super graphic. Like when it does happen, it comes out of nowhere and you're not expecting. The movie gives you like a false sense of security, and then, like I said, boom, something happens and it freaks you out. But yeah, I'm not gonna ramble too much because I feel like I'm rambling already. But just know that I loved Obsession. I think Obsession is one of the best films of the year. It's probably the best horror movie of the year, and I just really enjoyed it. I genuinely like this movie surprised me. Finally, a horror movie that actually lives up to the hype and is actually scary. It's about time we got that. It took him long enough, but I'm just glad it happened, man. I think Curry Baker did a fantastic job with this movie, and I'm really looking forward to see what else he does because this movie was great. And like I said, I have no complaints. I think it's genuinely a perfect film. But yeah,